In KZN, a faction of the AmaZulu Royal family has traditionally crowned Prince Simakade as the king of the AmaZulu nation. Simakade is the eldest son of the late King Zwelithini. This after he performed the entering of the crown ceremony at the eNCA Palace at Nongoma over the weekend. The government has recognized King Zwelithini as the king of the AmaZulu. He will also perform the entering of the crown ceremony at Ngubane Royal Palace this coming Saturday. Now, for more analysis on this, we're joined by Zulu cultural expert, Professor Sihawukele Ngubane. Professor, good morning and thank you very much for your time. You know, for the longest time we've read in history books that the ascension to the throne of any member of the royal family is not always easy. But this seems unfamiliar. What did you make of this weekend's developments?
Yes, thank you for inviting me and thank you for the opportunity to give my view and my opinion on this matter. Historically, as you put it so, we've never had an event such as this one happening. In our minds as the Zulu people, we have been informed of the decision that was taken, that the prince then, but the king now, Mr. Zulu, is going to be the king of the Zulu nation. So we have that information, and it was pronounced by the courts and pronounced by the family. So what is happening is really confusing us as the nation.
I listened to an interview yesterday where they were speaking to Kgoshi Mokoena from Contralesa, and it seemed there was great apprehension on the part of the body to enter this space around who is the legitimate king and who isn't. It seems there's very little appetite for anybody to intervene. They're saying this remains the prerogative of the family, and whomever is named king for them is king. They cannot intervene in such a situation. Where does that leave the Zulu people and the Zulu nation as a whole?
Yeah, I think this is a matter that should be resolved by the royal family themselves, because they are the people who introduced to the nation the name of King Zulu. And King Zulu was recognized. It is not something that the Zulu nation made up. So in that case, it means the coronation and the ritual coronation that takes place on Saturday should go ahead, because this is the legitimate heir of the Zulu nation, and the family is aware of the tradition since they are custodian of culture, Zulu culture. So the heir is different from the elder son. The elder son is called Inkosana, and the heir is Indlalifa. And the heir ascend to the throne due to the manner in which he was born. So in this case, King Zulu was born of the senior wife of the late King Zwelithini, and by tradition, he is the one who is authentically expected to be on the throne. So I think if we base it along lines of our culture, which is our identity as the Zulu nation, so we must abide with our laws, because culture is a law on how people should behave, and it is taken down through the word of mouth from the previous generation. So this is what has been. We've never had two kings in our history, and at the same time. So we must allow the process to take its course, so that we have one king to silence all these succession noise that is taking place, because they have the right to do so, so they can continue with the contestation whilst the king is being put on the throne.
But then now it doesn't seem that the noise will actually die down if you look at this, because Saturday we're going to have the entering of the Kral, apologies for interjecting. We're going to have that ceremony take place. That's for Prince Zulu. And now this ceremony has taken place. So essentially there will forever be these two kings, so to say. How do they then address this matter going forward?
No, this matter, as I said earlier, has already been addressed by bestowing the Zulu king, who is already in the office, who's already been recognized and been gazetted in the government gazette, is the one that is going to go ahead with the coronation ritual. So there's nothing that we should doubt about this, because if we do doubt, it means we are misleading the nation.
Mm-hmm. So, as for Mrs. Zulu, I mean, I listened yesterday, Prince Mrs. Zulu, I listened to King Zwelithini's interview as well yesterday. A very strong tone, saying that he is a warrior. There is no young man or boy that he is afraid of. But that would be indicative of greater problems that could possibly come. That lana gunombango, and it's a very, very big battle that probably awaits this family.
Yes, there is a serious conflict within the royal family, and it was obvious when Prince Simakade addressed the nation yesterday. And I think us as analysts, we need to promote calmness amongst the royal family, because what happens to the royal family affects us as the Zulu people. So I did hear the statements and the strong tone from the prince yesterday, but I think people should be matured and accept the truth as it is, and that the truth for now is that we do have a king at this point in time. Maybe at a later stage there might be another king, but for now there is only one king, and it has been like that in 200 years.
Professor Ngubane, thank you very much for your insights. That was Zulu cultural expert, Professor Sihawukele Ngubane. To the story.